May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to Quant-in-a-Box Daily. Today is January 5th. Can you believe the first week of January is almost done and dusted? Seems like time is going by really quickly. But that's great because they say time flies when you're having fun. So what is Quant-in-a-Box? Quant-in-a-Box is your global macroeconomic quant in a box. It's a beautiful tool that you can use to gain an edge on fundamental bias. Using an amazing tool that brings everything to your fingertips, from seasonality to COT data, to retail positions, to fundamental data, everything you could possibly need. And what I like about it the most is that a 1 week trial is just $7.90. We've been using it every single day. If you go past the previous, go through the previous Quant-in-a-Box videos, you'll see that every single day I take a look at the market heat map. I identify potential opportunities. We then verify those fundamental biases using Quant-in-a-Box, and then jump into some technicals and see if there are opportunities for us to take any trades. So doing that, and today we're going to have a look at the top earners today. Well, these are the trades these are the pairs, the currency pairs, the asset classes that moved higher. And these are the currency pairs and asset classes that moved lower. So at the top, you can see we've got all our indices. So we've got a risk on Asia session. And we've got Euro Pound, Euro Aussie, USD CAD, Euro CAD. So we'll look at those in a moment. We were paying attention to our Aussies yesterday. In the losing, or the biggest losers today would be Aussie USD, Pound dollar, pound yen, Aussie yen. So our yen pairs over here, Aussie Swissy, and a few more. Let's take a look at our Aussie. Let's start with the Aussie Swissy, Aussie USD. Okay, yesterday we paid attention to Aussie. There was still one of the indications of opportunities. So looking at Aussie Swissy, we can jump in over here, and we can see under our cross currencies that Aussie Swissy is currently a sell. Okay. And let's take a look at our chart for Aussie Swissy. So Aussie Swissy moving down and currently a sell. Let's have a look. Aussie Swissy. Okay. So yesterday we spoke about Aussie Swissy being up here. And I said potential opportunity. You see price has moved down. Price still up here by the profit taking zone coming for 21 EMA. Not liking the 2155 for the sell, but looking at the H1 time frame, looking at the M15 time frame, did you get a lower low, lower high yesterday that you could have taken this trade down lower? That over there seemed quite nice. So potentially in the trade from over there, and you're currently selling at Asia, heading lower down. That was one of the trades we set up yesterday. Spoke about paying attention to. Then in terms of our yen pairs, before we look at yen pairs, let's take a look at the rest of our Aussie. So Aussie USD, that wasn't one of the trades yesterday, but we did say pay attention. Well, I did say pay attention to the Aussie pairs. Let's take a look at Aussie dollar USD. So Aussie USD has come down during this previous session. Okay. Also for profit taking zone. So if you were looking at this yesterday at New York using the exact same strategy I'm currently using, then potentially you got into that trade. Aussie dollar USD from a fundamental perspective coming through with a bias of bearish. Okay. Unfortunately, right now, I'm not going to look at selling down here. So if you got in yesterday at New York, then you're happy right now. Okay. If we look at some more of the Aussie pairs, so that's Aussie Swissy and Aussie dollar. Looking over here at the Euro Aussie, that's one of the trades we're paying attention to yesterday as well. Euro Aussie with a bias of neutral. And what did we observe yesterday on Euro Aussie? Let's have a look and see. Okay. Yesterday, Euro Aussie at the profit taking zone yesterday was one of the potential buys we're speaking about yesterday. So if you lined that up yesterday, then you're currently long on Euro Aussie. Take a look at the M15 time frame. Yeah, you can see right there. Okay, little roll reversal. Cool. Hopefully you got that. Nice to know that yesterday we were potential setups that we spoke about. All of it came off the market. Watch the market heat map, linking that up with fundamental bias, and then looking at the markets, right? What else was in yesterday's mix? Looking at Aussie CAD, pound Aussie CAD. So you go back to yesterday's video and have a look and see what we spoke about yesterday. In terms of today, though, we're looking for opportunities today. So we got USD ZAR all the way up. USD ZAR coming through with a bias of, just give it a chart, bias of neutral. Let's take a look at our USD ZAR. I've got USD ZAR on here. No, not really. We'll jump into default and check it out over here. So let's just cancel this and cancel this. Drop USD ZAR. Let's have a look and see on the left-hand side. Where are you, USD ZAR? All the way at the bottom. 1, 2, 3. So currently moving higher with the neutral bias on Quant-in-a-Box. Let's go daily time frame. Excuse me, weekly time frame and daily time frame. Excuse me. You know, when you have to sneeze, you suddenly can't sneeze. Okay, so heading up higher, neutral bias. All right, so I'm not really at any kind of significant area in terms of selling. Could you sell this weekly M2, take it lower down? You could. There is a 21 below 55. You are currently at a 4-hour 21. Okay, so if you're looking at USD ZAR for a sell, taking it down to the weekly target on M15, you're looking for a lower low, lower high. Okay, so you could be paying attention to that. Let's see what else there is that's currently up. So euro pound currently. So euro pound. Right up here. A buy. Okay, so euro pound coming through bullish. Let's have a look at euro pound. Okay. Not really at support right now. You can see here on the 4-hour time frame. What I'd like to have seen it, like if, for example, if you did this exercise yesterday, sort of New York Stock Exchange, you could potentially have been in a long on euro pound. But right now, not a great spot. Let's have a look. Euro Aussie we already looked at. USD CAD. Now USD CAD coming through on Quant-in-a-Box. Let's take a look. USD CAD coming through neutral. Okay, cool. USD CAD over here. So I'm looking at this time frame, this chart, and I'm saying like, okay, let's consolidate. I'm going to leave that alone. We'll have to see how this green candle closes today. Could this green candle close at resistance? Of course, you're paying attention to the fact that price currently has come down. There's some support left-hand side. I'm not liking it that much. You've got a weekly S1, you've got a weekly R2. So there was some opportunity earlier in the week on the 3rd, sort of New York. So again, if on the 3rd you're looking at the market heat map, you would have seen USD CAD coming up, and you would have seen price at weekly R2, and you would have seen that you had an overall bias of neutral, and so you could have taken the trade off of the R2. And then look how nice and easy that is. You go to the market heat map, you see what's moving, you look at your overall fundamental bias, you see if it's bullish or bearish, if it's neutral, you can do whatever you want, and you then see it price at weekly R2, so you sell, and you make like 193 pips. Just then, like, you just look at it, you go and you verified low time frame, and suddenly boom. Remember how life used to be when you had to go through all your charts one by one, looking at everything, and then like, oh my gosh, you missed trades. This market heat map is beautiful. All right, so nothing much happening up in that area there. Let's take a look over here. So our yen pairs are all currently down. Let's take a look at our yen pairs. Now, yen pairs coming through right now. Let's take a look at our Japanese yen. Aussie yen coming through neutral. CAD yen coming through sell. Euro yen coming through neutral, pound yen coming through sell, and Kiwi yen coming through neutral. Let's take a look at all of them. Okay, so starting with our Aussie yen. Okay. Last week we spoke about Aussie yen, potential opportunity to buy Aussie yen last week. Nice that happened. Okay, beautiful. Also, Quant-in-a-Box setup. We saw the price had come down. We looked at the overall bias and we said, right, so potential opportunity to buy this up. And look at that, you would have made money. Go look at all the Quant-in-a-Box videos I have posted and you'll see how many of these trades were set up for you before. Okay, so right now, I'm not happy with prices. You kind of got top of the range. I'd leave that alone. Let's look at the next yen pair. CAD yen. Okay. Sure, like looking a bit messy there. Not liking the structure of that. Okay. Euro yen. Euro yen was also one we said prices at the profit-taking zone. You could get a potential scalp. Those scalp was actually sort of will price be at the weekly pivot point? These were there on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I said to you, look out for buying Euro yen and Aussie yen. Price could be at the central by Thursday. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous little trade. Right now, not keen to do anything with that. Pound yen, you would have done the exact same thing on pound yen for the weekly target. You can see price did make it to the central. So your yen pairs you've had a great time on this week. Kiwi yen, same thing. Oh, you've had a great time on your yen pairs this week, eh? Beautiful. Nice to know that was being discussed on Tuesday already. And seeing as today's Thursday, isn't it funny how today's the day when price reached their target? Okay, cool. So nothing along the lines of anything opportunity there. So in terms of what else we got, we can look at some Swissies. Let's look at pound Swissy and Aussie Swissy. So pound Swissy, we've got pound Swissy is sell. Pound Swissy currently down. See, what I want to see is I'd like to see pound Swissy moving up with the overall fundamental bias of bearish, so that price came to resistance. But now price has gone down, which is in line with the fundamental bias. Also, very sort of sideways nasty. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. What else we got? Pound dollar. Okay. Yeah, pound dollar kind of like all over the place. All right. Well, maybe the market's waiting for news. So let's take a look at the news and see if we got anything coming that's important in today or maybe tomorrow, being Friday, first Friday of the month. Let's just look at medium and high. Take away none. And we'll just look at today. Okay. Lots and lots of high medium impact news. Lots of stuff in the States. I think that's what the market's waiting for. Because tomorrow we've got non-farm payrolls. And you know that that's important because you know that the Fed is paying attention to that. Okay. So here's what I recommend you do. Jump on the market heat map. Keep an eye on this as you go into market opens. Check the fundamental bias for that particular currency. Confirm it with technicals, and then suddenly, boom, you could be in potential opportunities. But right now, I'm not seeing anything. And that's okay, because sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes the market's waiting for something. I'm not going to force it, but I will come back and check at New York. I suggest you do the same. Beautiful tool, right? And again, if you have time, go back and watch the previous videos, and you'll see how many of these trades have been set up and discussed. Stay patient, stay disciplined, stay liquid. Have a great day, my friends, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.